You're one bad email away from losing your mind. One traffic jam from ruining your entire morning. One comment from a stranger from spiraling into self-doubt. That's not strength. That's slavery. And the worst part? You know it. You feel it every single time your peace gets hijacked by something you can't control. But what if I told you that 2,000 years ago, men facing actual death, exile, and war figured out how to stay calm when everything around them was chaos? Not through meditation apps, not through positive thinking, through 5 brutally simple habits that rewire how you respond to life. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact framework that kept Marcus Aurelius calm while running an empire, and Epictetus unshaken as a slave. And if you want more content like this that cuts through the noise and gives you real tools for mental strength, subscribe right now. Because this channel is built for people who are done being controlled by their emotions. Let's get into it. 1. Morning premeditatio malorum, rehearse disaster before breakfast. Most people start their day scrolling, checking notifications, letting the world set their mood before they've even stood up. Stoics did the opposite. They sat with disaster first. Premeditatio malorum means premeditation of evils. Sounds dark, right? It's not. It's preparation. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius would sit and think, "Today I'll meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful. I'll face delays, disappointments, failures. Not to be pessimistic, to be ready." Because when you've already mentally walked through the worst-case scenario, reality can't blindside you. Your coworker's passive-aggressive email, you saw it coming. Traffic making you late, already planned for it. Here's how you do it. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Sit down, close your eyes. Ask yourself, what could go wrong today? Be specific. Will your boss criticize your work? Will your partner be distant? Will your plans fall through? Then ask, how will I respond with calm and control? Don't just think it, visualize it. See yourself staying composed, choosing your response instead of reacting. This isn't negativity. This is armor. When Epictetus was asked how he stayed so calm, he said he never assumed things would go his way. He assumed obstacles, and when they came, he was already prepared. You're not trying to predict the future. You're removing the shock factor. Let me give you a real example. A friend of mine, let's call him Jake, used to blow up every time his business partner questioned his decisions. It would ruin his entire day. One argument would spiral into anger, resentment, distraction. Then he started this practice. Every morning, he'd sit and think, my partner might challenge me today. He might question my judgment. And when he does, I'll listen without defensiveness. I'll respond with clarity, not emotion. Guess what happened? The next time his partner pushed back, Jake didn't explode. He paused. He responded calmly. The conversation ended in 5 minutes instead of festering for 5 hours. That's the power of rehearsal. The Stoics knew that most of our suffering comes from being caught off guard, from expecting life to be smooth when it never promised to be. So they weaponized expectation. Here's the key. This habit doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you unshakable. Because when you've already accepted that things might go wrong, you stop wasting energy being shocked when they do. You become the person who doesn't flinch, and that changes everything. Do this tomorrow morning. 3 minutes, rehearse disaster, then watch how little power it has over you when it shows up. 2. The dichotomy of control, stop fighting ghosts. You're wasting energy on things you can't control. Right now. Today. this very moment. You're worried about what people think, whether you'll get that promotion, if the economy will crash, if your ex will text back. And every ounce of energy you spend on those things is energy stolen from what you can actually change. The Stoics had a razor-sharp distinction. They divided everything in life into two categories: things you control and things you don't. That's it. Epictetus said it clearly. Some things are up to us, some things are not up to us. Happiness and freedom begin when you understand this difference. What's up to you? Your effort, your attitude, your response, your choices, your discipline. What's not? Other people's opinions, the weather, the past, the outcome. What happens to you? Most people spend 90% of their mental energy on the second list. The Stoics spent 100% on the first. Here's the practice. When something bothers you, stop and ask one question. Can I control this? If the answer is yes, act. Don't worry, do something about it. If the answer is no, let it go. Completely. Redirect your focus to what you can control. Sounds simple, it's not, because your brain is wired to obsess over what you can't control. Someone insulted you online? You can't control their opinion. You can control whether you let it hijack your mood. Your flight got delayed? You can't control the airline. You can control how you spend the next 2 hours. Your partner is upset? You can't control their feelings. You can control how you show up in the conversation. Real example. I know someone who got laid off unexpectedly. Devastating, right? He spent the first week spiraling, angry at his boss, bitter about the economy, obsessing over why it happened. Then he asked the question, what can I control right now? Not his old job, not his boss's decision, not the market. But he could control his next move. So he spent the next 30 days updating his resume, reaching out to his network, learning a new skill. Within 2 months, he had a better position than the one he lost. He stopped fighting ghosts and started building. That's the shift. Most of your stress isn't from the situation. It's from trying to control things outside your control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about how much lighter you'd feel if you stopped carrying weight that was never yours to carry. Someone doesn't like you? Not your problem. Your job is to be someone you respect. The project failed? Not entirely in your hands. Your job is to learn and do better next time. The world is chaotic? Always has been. Your job is to stay calm in the chaos. Here's the brutal truth. Most people will never do this. They'll spend their entire lives exhausting themselves trying to control the uncontrollable. You don't have to be most people. Every time you feel stressed today, pause. Ask the question, can I control this? If yes, act. If no, release. Watch how much energy you get back. Watch how much calmer you become. This one habit will save you years of wasted anxiety. 3. Negative visualization. Appreciate what you have by imagining its loss. You take everything for granted. Your health, your relationships, your freedom, your comfort. Not because you're ungrateful, because you're human. We adapt, we get used to things, and the moment we get used to something, we stop appreciating it. The Stoics had a solution. Imagine losing it. They called it negative visualization, and it's one of the most powerful practices for cultivating gratitude and presence. Here's how it works. Once a day, sit quietly and imagine losing something you value. Your partner, your home, your ability to walk, your eyesight, your favorite person. Not to be morbid, to wake up. Seneca said, "Set aside a certain number of days to practice poverty. Learn what it's like to have little so you appreciate what you have." Marcus Aurelius would imagine the death of his loved ones, not to torture himself, to remind himself they were mortal, that every moment with them was borrowed time. Because when you realize something could be gone tomorrow, you stop sleepwalking through today. Let me make this real. Imagine right now, your phone is gone, stolen, smashed, irretrievable. How do you feel? Probably panicked, lost, frustrated. Now look at your phone. You have it. Right there. You didn't lose it. Feel that relief? That's what negative visualization creates. A visceral appreciation for what's already yours. Now scale it up. Imagine losing your ability to walk. Picture yourself in a wheelchair, unable to move freely, dependent on others. Now stand up. Walk across the room. Feel your legs work. Feel the freedom. That's the shift. You go from numb to grateful in seconds. This isn't about living in fear. It's about living in awareness. Most people don't appreciate their health until they're sick, their relationships until they're over, their freedom until it's restricted. Stoics didn't wait for loss to appreciate life. They imagined it daily. Real story. A guy I know was constantly frustrated with his aging parents. They called too much, needed too much help. Slowed him down. Then he started this practice. He'd sit for 2 minutes and imagine getting the call, the one saying they were gone. What would he feel? Regret, guilt, wishing he'd been more patient. So he stopped waiting for that call to feel it. The next time his mom called asking for help with her computer, he didn't sigh. He smiled, because she was still here, still able to call. That's the power. Negative visualization doesn't make you sad. It makes you present. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do and you'll be happy." Translation: stop expecting permanence. Nothing lasts. And that's exactly why it matters. Your relationships are temporary. Your health is temporary. This moment is temporary. So stop saving your appreciation for when it's gone. Here's your practice. Tonight, before bed, pick one thing you value: your partner, your home, your job, your freedom. Close your eyes. Imagine it's gone. Sit with that loss for 60 seconds. Then open your eyes. Look around. It's still here. Feel that? That's gratitude. Do this every night. Watch how it changes the way you move through life. You'll stop complaining. Stop taking things for granted. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to be happy. Because you'll realize the perfect moment is now. 4. The evening review. Audit your day like a Stoic. You're repeating the same mistakes every single day, reacting the same way, falling into the same patterns, making the same poor choices, and you don't even notice, because you never stop to look. The Stoics did. Every single night, they sat down and reviewed their day, not to beat themselves up, to learn. Seneca wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." This is the evening review. And it's the difference between repeating your life and improving it. Here's the structure. 3 questions. 5 minutes. Every night. Question 1. What did I do well today? Where did you show discipline? Patience, courage, kindness? Acknowledge it. Reinforce it. Tell yourself, that's who I am. Question 2. What did I do poorly? Where did you react instead of respond? Lose your temper? Waste time? Avoid something hard? Don't judge it. Just see it. Question 3. What will I do differently tomorrow? Pick one specific behavior. One moment you'll handle better. That's it. No journaling for an hour. No elaborate self-help ritual. 3 questions. Honest answers. Consistent practice. Let me show you what this looks like. Say you snapped at your partner this morning. You were stressed. They asked a simple question. You bit their head off. In the evening review, you don't ignore it. You don't justify it. You say, I reacted poorly. I let my stress control me. Tomorrow, when I feel that tension, I'll pause before speaking. That's growth. Now you're not just living, you're learning. Marcus Aurelius did this religiously. His meditations, that was his evening review, written down, raw, honest. He'd remind himself, I got angry today. That was pointless. Anger doesn't change the situation. Tomorrow, I'll stay calm. He wasn't perfect, but he was intentional. Here's a real scenario. A client of mine used to end every day feeling like a failure. He'd focus only on what went wrong, what he didn't finish, who he disappointed. I told him to start the evening review. First question, what did I do well? He resisted, said nothing went well. I pushed. You woke up, you showed up, you tried. That's something. He started small, acknowledged tiny wins, made that difficult call, stayed patient with his kid, hit the gym even though he didn't want to. Within 2 weeks, his entire mindset shifted. He stopped seeing himself as a failure and started seeing himself as someone making progress. That's what the review does. It stops you from sleepwalking. It forces you to be honest about who you're becoming. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Translation? Improvement requires honesty, and honesty requires looking at your flaws without flinching. Most people avoid this. They distract themselves, scroll, watch TV, numb out. Because looking at yourself is uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth lives. Here's the truth. You will never change what you refuse to examine. If you don't review your day, you'll repeat it. Same reactions, same mistakes, same version of yourself. The evening review breaks the loop. It turns experience into wisdom. Try it tonight. Sit down, no phone, no distractions. Ask the 3 questions. Answer them honestly. Then tomorrow, do one thing differently. That's how you stop being a passenger in your own life. That's how you become the Stoic who learns from everything. 5. Amor fati, love your fate even when it hurts. Life is going to break you. Not maybe. Not if you're unlucky. It will. You'll lose people. Face rejection. Get sick. Fail publicly. Experience pain you didn't see coming. And when it happens, you'll have 2 choices. Resist it or embrace it. Most people resist. They ask why me. They rage against reality. They wish things were different. Stoics did the opposite. They loved their fate. Amor fati, love of fate. Not just acceptance, love. Marcus Aurelius said, a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it. Translation? Whatever happens to you, use it. The betrayal? Use it to build discernment. The failure? Use it to build resilience. The loss? Use it to build depth. Nothing is wasted if you choose to learn from it. Here's the practice. When something painful happens, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? What strength is this building? What weakness is this exposing? What is this preparing me for? Reframe suffering as fuel. Real example. I know a woman who lost her business during the pandemic. Everything she built, gone. She could have stayed bitter, blamed the world, given up. Instead, she asked, What is this teaching me? It taught her she was too dependent on one income stream, too attached to one identity, too afraid to start over. So she rebuilt. Differently, smarter, stronger. 2 years later, she's running 3 businesses, and she said the collapse was the best thing that ever happened to her. That's amor fati. Not pretending the pain doesn't hurt, but refusing to let it destroy you. Epictetus was sold into slavery as a child, abused, crippled. He could have hated his life. Instead, he said, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will go on well." He loved his fate and became one of the greatest philosophers in history. Nietzsche, who studied the Stoics, put it perfectly. "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati. That one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Not just bear what is necessary. Love it." Here's the shift. Stop seeing obstacles as interruptions. See them as the path. You didn't get the job? That's the path showing you where to grow. The relationship ended? That's the path clearing space for something better. You got sick? That's the path teaching you to value your health. Everything is either happening for you or because of you. Nothing is happening to you. This doesn't mean you're happy about suffering. It means you refuse to waste it. Let me give you a challenge. Think about the worst thing that's happened to you in the last year. Now ask, what did that experience give me? Strength, clarity, compassion, wisdom? If you can't see it yet, keep looking. Because the Stoics believed every obstacle carries a gift, but only for those willing to find it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your obstacles aren't blocking your path. They are your path. So stop resisting. Stop wishing things were different. Love what is. Love the challenge. Love the discomfort. Love the fact that life is testing you. Because tests create strength, and strength creates peace. That's amor fati. That's freedom. Final thoughts. This is how you stay unshaken. Let me be clear. These 5 habits won't make your life easier. They'll make you stronger. Rehearsing disaster doesn't stop bad things from happening. It stops them from breaking you. Focusing on what you control doesn't eliminate problems. It eliminates wasted energy. Imagining loss doesn't prevent loss. It prevents regret. Reviewing your day doesn't erase mistakes. It stops you from repeating them. Loving your fate doesn't remove pain. It transforms it into power. The Stoics didn't live perfect lives. Marcus Aurelius watched his children die. Epictetus lived as a slave. Seneca was exiled and eventually forced to take his own life. But they stayed calm, focused, unshaken. Not because life was kind to them, because they built themselves into people life couldn't break. You can do the same, starting tomorrow. 3 minutes in the morning to rehearse disaster. 1 question when stress hits. Can I control this? 60 seconds at night imagining loss. 5 minutes reviewing your day. And 1 decision when pain comes. I will use this. That's it. 5 brutally simple habits. No fluff, no theory, just tools that work. And if you want more content like this, real Stoic practices that actually change your life, subscribe to this channel right now. Because I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to make you unshakable. Now go build that version of yourself.